No.
I know. All right. We are live. I think we're live everywhere. Cool. Hey guys. So we're gonna try something new. So I'm excited about this. If you're watching us on YouTube, we'd love for you to let us know in the chat or Facebook or Instagram or wherever you're watching this. So I have an idea. We're gonna see if this works out, and then we'll go from there. But basically, the idea is let's do a little almost vlog style update. I'm hoping to do it roughly weekly. If you guys love it, let me know, and maybe we'll do it every week. But basically, the idea is this. We're just gonna have a chat. We're just gonna vibe a little bit and talk about what's going on in real estate. There's so much going on in the market that I feel like a monthly isn't really often enough, to be honest. So we're going to do kind of more of a granular, like weekly. This is what's going on. This is what I'm seeing. What the market's doing. What kind of activity we've had this week. And so that'll be what we're talking about. We'll talk about showings. We'll talk about what's going on, and then kind of a weekly update. What's going on with the market? What you need to know about that. Tips about buying and selling. All that. You can also ask questions. So we'd love for you guys to let us know in the chat. Where you're watching from, and if you have any questions, things you've been hearing about. It's very I feel like there's more worry and fear about what's going on in real estate now than I've ever seen in 6 years. So we gotta dispel a little bit of that. So let's give us a chat. Let us know what you got going on. Any questions that you have. But otherwise, I got a bunch of stuff we're gonna talk about. So let's start about this weekend. It's busy. It's really, really busy. So this past weekend had, I think, 3 different buyers out and 1 listing that went on the market. Two of the buyers got under contract on their purchase, so that was really, really good news. Congrats to the Keo Pursuits, our friends. I don't know if you guys will be watching, but they got a super cool house from D.R. Horton, new construction build that we're very excited for them. And then another one, we got a buyer in. So this is a senior looking. She's buying a co-op. So huge congrats to Ruthie as well. So that was kind of a cool story. We won't talk a lot about co-ops, but they're like a senior living option that you can do, kind of like a condo. It's totally different animal, but she's very excited, 55 plus, and like a super cool active community that they're in. So really, really cool options. Another buyers that have been looking super hard. They are competing with tons of other offers, so they did not get an offer accepted. 2 offers made, neither one got accepted. So that was a huge bummer. It's just crazy. It's really crazy competitive right now. What's surprising is to me, it feels like peak of the summer, and we're in like the first week in February. So very surprising in that sense with the market. Things are just bananas. So we're going to talk about a lot today. How are we competing? What are we doing? What do you need to know? Should you not buy? Should you hold off? Is it better to wait? I try to have a very, neutral approach. So I'm just going to give you guys the facts, and you guys can decide what you want to do and what's best for you. I've never at all been a pushy guy, and I definitely don't tell you to move or not move based on the market, which you've been hearing me say for years. But if there was ever a time to be pushy, I'm going to be honest with you, it would be now. And you don't even have to hire me, okay? I'm not trying to just get your business or push you into something. But I will say this. People are getting afraid of what the market's doing because they're like, well, I don't want to overpay. I don't want to stretch myself too much. And I totally understand that. And I also understand the reality is homes are going to be more expensive a year from now, and interest rates are going to go up. And when that happens, I promise you there will be people that held off. They're like, well, this spring market in February 22 is too crazy, so I'm just going to wait. And then you're going to call me in a year from now, and then you're going to be like, well, what the heck? Things are even worse, which is just reality. I just want to shoot you guys straight. So I'm not pushing people, but I'm saying you don't want to wait because it's going to get worse. Has been a lot of the conversations that we've had. So, a couple of different things we're doing. So a secret weapon that I'm looking at a lot more for my clients is new construction. There's different developments kind of all around the metro. It'll probably mean you're going to have to move a little bit further out because obviously in the Twin Cities metro, there's not a lot where it's already developed, already established. So you're looking a little bit further out. But when you move further out, generally you're spending the same price, but you're further out, and in exchange, you're getting a brand new house. And so that's a huge, huge perk. But really, in a market like we've got, it can be the difference of getting an offer accepted or not getting accepted, right? They've got a development. There's 20 different units available or something. You can just go pick your floor plan, pick your lot, and then have a new house. One thing that I am seeing a lot more often is because of supply chain issues, from COVID and everything else, they are not letting you pick out as many package finishes or specific layouts. You can't be like, all right, I want the Adams model and I want it with the gray finishes or something. You've got to just walk in and say, all right, what do you guys have available? They're picking them out. They're already ordering the materials in advance in bulk because they have to for supply chain issues. And so I am seeing a little bit less flexibility, but it also kind of streamlines it. It makes it super, super simple, for the clients that we had this weekend that got under contract. They loved pretty much all of the finished packages, and then they just got to pick their lot and layout, from the 4 or 5 that they had available, and they found one they wanted, and so they jumped on it. So there's actually a little bit less guesswork in that. You could also say there's less flexibility, but to not have to compete with a whole bunch of other buyers, to just pick the one you want and get it, and the stress it takes off is so much better. So I say that to say new construction is definitely something that I would encourage. I also like it for the sake that I don't feel like you're overpaying nearly as much, because the price is just set and that's it. And what you see it listed for is typically what it's selling at, never less, but also never more usually right now. So I like that you're not offering like $40,000, $50,000 over on a property. So I like new construction for that. Obviously, it's just more expensive to start with, but definitely want you guys to think about new construction. Let's see what else from this weekend. Had a listing in Brooklyn Parks. That one was very interesting. I can't talk specifics because of confidentiality, obviously, with the clients. But what we can tell you is it sold. I never sell them less than about 2 or 3 days on market because I want as many people to get into the house, to love it, and then get as much exposure for the clients as possible. So we listed it on Friday. We sold it on Sunday. Tons of offers. The price we got for it is kind of stupidly high. So it does become a matter of, okay, well, we listed it for one price, it sold way over, so now we're looking at, all right, what are the other terms, the other variables, how do we make sure that it's the best, deal, the best buyer, the biggest picture. So that's a lot of the conversations that we're having now, regardless of what the sale price is. How do we make sure the best terms are for the client? And so that's kind of a fun conversation to have. Obviously looking at if it doesn't appraise, then what happens with that case. And with most of them, we're able to get buyers to agree to paying a certain dollar amount in cash if the appraisal comes up low. So it's a great time to be a seller. Also something I'm seeing a lot more that I want to tell you guys about. We're seeing a lot more clients on my listings and with my buyers that are agreeing to do a seller rent back. So if you're selling your home, this is a huge, huge opportunity, because before it was like maybe a buyer would even give you a rent back or not. Now, very, very often we're seeing the buyers are giving a free rent back to the sellers. So if you don't know what that means, basically, if you're buying a home, you're selling your house and to buy another one, like you're making a move up or down, we can get it where the buyers will do like a 30-day closing, 40-day closing, so a quicker close. You'll close on that house. You can then go purchase a house without being contingent on your house, right? Which is almost impossible these days. So then you can buy a house without being contingent, and you can stay in your current home without moving out, in most cases about 60 days. So the term rent back, as it implies, the seller would be then renting back their home from the buyer after closing for 2 months, right? But because the market's so competitive, many times we're able to get that for a free rent. So quite literally, you're living in your home 2 months after closing for free. All you got to pay is your utilities, right? So that's a pretty sick gig. I'm seeing that way more often. So it really eases things up for people that are worried, well, all right, I got to sell my house, but I don't know where I'm going to go. It's still challenging to find a place to go, but that makes it exponentially easier for buyers to make that move up. So really cool option that we're seeing a lot. It's called a seller rent back again. So if you're selling and buying, that made it so much easier for you, that we're seeing that becoming much more common. So really good options. Definitely some things I'm seeing more this week that I want you guys to keep in mind. And if you're just tuning in, would love for you to post if you got any questions, anything you're hearing, anything in the chat. Let me know. Would be happy to answer those. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, chime in because I'm happy to help you guys with those. Let's see. That's kind of it for the gist of things. Let's talk about the market in general. A couple of things that I have heard. Interest rates are going up, and I'm hearing that they're going up more quickly than was expected. I'm going to actually go check right now, and we'll see on here live. So where I go for interest rates is bankrate.com. Let me see, and I'm just going to get in here really fast. So let's look for purchasing on a 30-year. Okay, Bankrate.com. So it's a great site, but it's also very generic. And of course, with anything where they show you all these different banks that give you different rates, they're like the super ultra premium rate that most people don't qualify for. But they're looking like they're at about 3.25 is their starting number for their rates. So that's pretty good. It's definitely going up from there. One we just had quoted was 4%, which was a little bit higher for their situation. But generally, I think you're still under 4% most of the time on a 30-year fixed. So that's good. That is going up. We would love for them to not go up as quickly. But I'm also seeing that, anyways, they're going up. They're going up quickly. Something I have heard a bunch lately that I want to kind of dispel a myth for you guys too is the rates will go up that will stifle buying power for buyers. So, obviously if rates go up about 1%, then your buying power goes down by about 10%. So if you're buying a $400,000 house, that would mean for the same payment, roughly speaking, your pre-approval amount is going to come down $40,000 to keep the same payment. So something to keep in mind. A really good way you can check those numbers and kind of play with numbers to give yourself future hypotheticals is mortgagecalculator.org. Yeah, mortgagecalculator.org. That's what I use all the time. So you can go there and play with some numbers, be like, all right, what's my payment now on a $300,000 house? And then if I raise that interest rate by 1%, then you can see what that would be in the future. Then you can decide if you're comfortable with that payment a year from now. And then of course, adding in, conservatively 5% increase on the sale price, or, maybe more negative, pessimistically, we might say up to 10%. So then you can raise that sale price for a year from now and play with those numbers for yourself. That's a really good way that you can see, all right, if I make a move now versus if I make a move in the future by a year or something, that'll give you kind of a good comparison with those numbers. So that's a really good way to look at those numbers. Cool. That is basically it that I wanted to talk about for this week. If you guys have any questions, this is your chance. Post them for me on Insta or YouTube or Facebook, and I'd love to help you guys with that. But that's kind of the biggest things that I am seeing. Oh, one last thing. Our local association of realtors put out a stat maybe 3 or 4 days ago that I did see. I want to bring attention. Currently, the number of new listings year to date has been about 30% less than last year, which that was really, really crazy. I think it was 31.9, maybe 32%. So that is really, really interesting. I think we'll see that number go up. Who knows what in the world is going on, but that's a pretty interesting stat that kind of explains why we're seeing things so competitive, and why I'm encouraging new construction and different things so that we can get more options for buyers. So very, very interesting. So that is your little week wrap up. I'm thinking I'll probably do this weekly, so would love for you to subscribe, tune in, like, follow, do all those good things. And then you can let me know if you're watching this afterwards. If you have any questions too, we're so happy to help. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time.